think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not trust friends.
What are they going to do? He's not coming back.
They're supposed to they were supposed to collect the video and speak to her, and then they just didn't. They just didn't.
Well, they might at a future date. They might.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Or I can assume the Hells Angels are that awesome.
Yeah, they just fucking. that too is a possibility, sadly. Yeah. Speaking of Hells Angels,
you don't see that a lot these days.
Speaking of Hells Angels, we today we're here. We're gathered here for a special occasion on the Extinction Agenda with James,
and
Chris.
The special occasion of the Sword of Doom. Who's our friend here? Kihachi Okamoto's 1966 classic, starring Tetsuya Nakadai, and I guess also having Mifune in there too. It's samurai time. I absolutely forced this movie on both of you, and I spoke very highly of it.
It was the right move. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah, and so I guess I'm just really curious about your reactions to this movie, just because I don't even mind if they're bad. I just love it so much.
This is so. I don't know what you guys. I got the Criterion collection of this. I bought it because you were really big on it at one point, and then we kind of like gave it a pause.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is my big thing on this is like I know. So this is a bad guy. Like your lead character, your protagonist is the antagonist.
Yeah.
So I know that's a common thing, Joker, American Psycho, yada yada. Anyway, the list of way better movies than I just named goes on and on. But like in this case, I don't know if you guys I don't know how you guys took this, but what's this guy's name anyway?
Renosuke
here. He has zero redeeming qualities. You don't even feel like he's a victim of anything. You don't even really feel like he's a psychopath. He's just actually like a fucking bad guy. Mm-hmm. And they don't give you anything to downplay that. Like they don't throw you a bone to humanize him, nothing. Which I found odd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're watching a pure fucking psychopath just walk through the world. And I think what makes it acceptable is that this is still a morality play. You've got the good, evil spirit, evil sword, all that shit. You get the sense that there's a higher spiritual purpose to this drama that we're watching, and so you don't mind that you wouldn't mind anyway because it's fucking cool. Like this movie.
Yeah,
cool.
It's awesome. Are you rooting for my guy here?
For Renosuke? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like I'm not rooting for him. I'm not. I just want to watch him fucking murder people.
Yeah.
Like in the coolest way possible. Like I just like the violence that he exudes is the aesthetic pleasure of this movie. And so I don't attach he's a bad guy. He's going to meet a bad end. I didn't know what that bad end would be, but at the end of the movie, he's really, and I'm getting ahead of ourselves here, but he's fucking falling apart. He's not in a good place.
I guess that's sort of the that he sort of gets broken down as the film progresses is maybe his punishment that humanizes him. I know.
But you don't know that's going to happen, and at the beginning, it just kind of that's where you land, and you're just like.
So did you guys? When I read the plot synopsis on this, I read the what's his wife's name or his girlfriend that he has the baby with?
Hama.
Ohama?
Ohama. That's right. So did you take that? I didn't in the plot synopsis it's supposed to be a rape.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel like it was.
No, I didn't take that from this.
There's a difference.
It's in the script. She voluntarily sacrifices her chastity for this.
Yeah,
this
James,
guy.
James. Okay, so earlier today, James sent me a summary of the actual trilogy, like as it was produced by Tomo Uchida in the Satan Sword trilogy. So we read that, and there's like you reading through that, you see the differences, and one of them is that in the older versions of this story, it's a straight up abduction rape of Ohama early on, and in this, it's a very different presentation, and maybe closer to the novels, maybe not. I have no idea. This having been based off a novel, like an earlier novel series. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
I do like this presentation. If I like this better than the idea of a rape, because it feels like somehow fate, sort of like intertwined him and Ohama, and sort of like tail spins him.
Yeah. Actually, I absolutely think there's something there. But Chris, we haven't heard from you. What's your general impressions of all of this?
Yeah, I love this movie. When it first started, I just had no idea where it was going, and it just has this kind of perv aura, everything that you think you know about samurai movies, like just the underbelly of it all, and just like looking at this sort of seedy existence. I do think that I've read a lot of people saying that Ryusuke is a sociopath, and I think that really does hold up. There's the dead-eyed, glassy stare that he always has, like just something very unnerving about it. And I don't know how you achieve that. Like maybe it's just like staring in the middle distance all the time, but like it just he's soulless. Like he's just there to murder things.
A little little nod to his performance here. Kate watched a bit of this with me, and she didn't, like, I'm talking a bit, like maybe 15 minutes. She's like, I'm uncomfortable, and that guy's a psycho.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's got it. This guy's got the performance on lockdown.
And all he does sometimes is that little like smirk, or just like when something like horrible is going like wrong in his life, even like he's just sort of like that. I don't know. He just like he's enjoying the pain. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You guys mentioned like whether you're rooting for him or whatever. The character I kind of thought of throughout this was the Saint of Killers. Just like it's a force, and it's just gonna happen, and you just kind of want to see where it goes, who could stop him, and like how it all just resolves.
Mm-hmm. I think the difference there, and maybe part of the breaking down that James was referring to with Renosuke is when they have that, like his first real encounter with Mifune's character. Shit, I didn't even write down what it's the sensei guy, like the main fucking guy who kills all those dudes in the snow.
Oh, the guy that breaks out of the box and
yeah. Sorry, I just who
played it? Who played
Toshiro Mifune? Yeah. So he's
that was Shimada was the character.
Okay, I'll take your word for that. I didn't really write it down, and now it's not in front of me.
Toranosuke Shimada, yeah.
Okay, so there is a moment when, and it's almost like a joke, when Renosuke sees like this fucking true badass, and he won't pull the sword, like he's frightened.
It was a nervous breakdown.
Yeah. Because he thought he was invincible, but he saw what true invincibility looked like, or something. Like, again, that's what adds to this morality play. Like, he saw what true goodness, true samurai honor looks like.
Yeah.
And that's when he freaked him out.
Yeah.
That's when you got the line too, the evil mind, evil sword, or evil sword, evil mind.
Yeah.
That scene is so fucking good, and just like the just how forceful Mifune is. Like he just steals the show. I really wanted more of that character. Like I'm so sad that there are no sequels, because I just wanted to see the inevitable duel between them. Like it would have been so good. There's this is such a visually striking movie, and the one image I think is going to stay with me forever is how snow is just piling up on Ryosuke as he's watching that duel, like as he's watching him kill like 40 guys, and then lectures them all about you made me kill against my will. Apologize.
Because he's not going to take it, right? So like you say, you fucking activated me. Sorry, James.
No, I was gonna say the best part about all that was how handily he did it. There was no chance. He was breaking their swords.
Yeah.
Like he was so skillful, just embarrassing them. And then the last guy that he just interrogated and just shamed and left him quivering. That was horrific. And that was when you watched Renosuke's full that was he had a mental breakdown. He froze. He had an anxiety attack. He didn't even budge. He thought about it.
He budged. That's the great part about Okamoto's direction in all of this, where the camera looks. It's all these aspect shots in all of this. Aside, Chris, you're right. It's absolutely beautiful when they're fighting in the snow, and there's so much to say about that. But even when they're fighting, it's when they're running, there's looking at your feet, you're looking at hands, you're looking at little bits all the time. And so in that moment, we know that he thought about it because his sword came out just a little bit. And Mifune's character looks over like the fucking predator,
He heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, in the snow. And in that moment, he's like, you don't want to do that, son. Fuck around and find out. That's where you get it, and that could have just been done so poorly. Everything about this movie you could make a shitty samurai movie in no ways. A movie with this main character, the psycho character walking around, you could fuck this up so easily. And there's zero fuck ups at any point. It's just masterful execution.
What's amazing too? I read that the director didn't even want to do this movie. It was sort of forced on him by the studio because they were displeased by the success of his previous movie.
Oh, yes.
More personal. So to come to this
that.
and just be all right. I don't really want to do this, but here's an amazing samurai movie because I'll get into it somehow.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I didn't know that, but if that's these guys are workmen. I was talking with my friend Jason and hi Jason, shout out we talk about Takashi Miike's output as exceptional, but I'm looking at all these Japanese directors in the old school. If you're not looking at Kurosawa and you're looking at everybody else, they're fucking working. Oh my goodness, the number and amount of movies they're putting out, and the actors, and it's just it's like a Shakespearean troupe, and they're just putting on a weekly show, and it's fucking crazy. And it's just part of it's part of the ethic at the I don't know, it's part of the culture over there. I don't know what else to say. It's the culture of overwork. It's fucking wild. But it produces the fact that they put out such excellent material in those conditions. So many of the samurai directors are studio hacks, and they're fucking delivering. And it's great.
Yeah, I was actually thinking too. I was talking to one of my friends about black and white movies too, and I was thinking I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's very minimal blood because I don't think that effect necessarily
has the effect.
It doesn't really translate,
Yeah.
So it's sort of wasted. They did use it to good effect at the end.
Yeah.
Just in a couple of moments. And I thought that was nice to hold that off too until the end. Yeah, that was when you sort of see his invincibility tested.
I think there's that splash against the white walls of that ghost house or whatever, and then there's the one moment where he severs Mifune severs that guy's hand and it falls in the snow. Whoa, that's raw. But
the violence. No, go on.
Ahead. No, I was just going to
say
it isn't used a lot.
Yeah, and it is listening to both of you talk. There is a slow. Even if the original. For those of you who just go out and watch this movie, then come back and listen to us fucking like, ooh, it's fucking great, and you can join us in that. But the opening thing, Renosuke, he's basically, he has it for reasons I don't understand, and it doesn't really matter what the explanation is, but he's faced with a moral choice, like of pride and like whether he will humble himself for the greater good. And the reason is because like the some family honors fucking clan is at stake, and so the moral choice he faces is like, do I downplay my own self in order to make sure that like women and children and family, like all that shit is maintained? And he's like, so I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off track, but yeah, he does make a choice on that front. But so he agrees to, I think he actually agreed to not do anything. I think he agreed after that sexual exchange / pseudo rape, that he wouldn't make the kill,
Yes.
But the point that brought me here, I'll just say it and then we'll move on to the more important subject, is that that violence is just with a sword. With a wooden sword, right? Like it's muted. I do think, actually, I guess we do get a fucking massacre after that, don't we, though?
We do, when he's walking through the forest, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's escalating violence, but it feels like escalating violence.
It shouldn't be, because like even he doesn't, like, that's his moment of like, no one should hold a grudge against me. I was just defending myself at the tournament.
Yeah,
the clan got up. Because there's something going on, and I don't fully understand it, but like there's something really interesting about the backdrop of this movie where the samurai class is collapsing, and like everyone's kind of becoming like maybe thugs for hire, or just sort of like petty mercenaries or political props.
Mm-hmm.
And a sense of like honor is missing from this movie. Like I guess it's like questioning, or the idea of honor. And apparently do you want to get in? Do you have stuff on the back?
Yeah, I definitely want to. Yeah.
Okay,
or
yeah.
Wait.
Like it was like some 40 volume novel that was like super popular, which I didn't realize. A morality play that just kind of meandered, but the author was sort of like influenced by Dostoevsky and Christianity, and was a pacifist and like hated all this stuff. So there's definitely a questioning of violence and what good warrior classes are, in spite of the sort of, well, it's not a celebration of violence, but it's impressed with violence, that's for sure.
It's a spectacle of violence. You're right, and that's one of the ironies of like this film, is like it's decrying all of this at the same time it's giving us exactly what the fuck we want, right? Like, and that's yet another shame. Like, where would we would have gone on that Buddhist journey, like we would have gone the story of learning the story of the Buddha through this guy. I fucking guarantee it.
Yes, for sure.
Or if not, like that was this is a perfect vehicle for that, like just it's almost like Jodorowsky-esque, and probably is influenced by all this shit, right?
Or
for sure,
there would be an irony that despite everything he does, he's somehow serving like a universal purpose. That all of his evil comes to some good somehow.
And the strongest evidence of that is his first introduction at the beginning of the story. The old man at the top with Umatsu.
Oh, you're right. Like, yeah.
And he's like, I wish I was dead. Like, he essentially says, I wish I wasn't a burden anymore. And fucking Renosuke just shows up on his shoulder, right, and just like hacks him down in that moment as an angel of death. And then it kicks off everything that happens after. Well, actually, it doesn't kick off everything. It sets the mood for everything that happens, or it's something that impacts him later along his journey, but he still goes down to his regular story, his regular narrative, but he doesn't know how that thread is going to impact him. Yeah.
What'd you guys think of that hat, by the way?
Oh, is it like?
Oh, yeah.
That's a baller hat. Do you like? I think it looks fucking awesome. I think everything.
Well, I think it gave those really cool camera shots too.
Yeah.
And you just knew when he was sort of like moseying onto the scene that somebody was gonna die.
It's intimidating as fuck. I don't know why. It's like the Clint Eastwood like low brimmed hat thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you guys pick up any like, I don't know, this might be a stretch, but are you getting any Darth Vader?
Off the hat?
Yes,
for sure, man.
Like
For
no,
sure.
no, I mean just generally like the
Totally.
the commitment to death, the commitment to the sword, you know.
Yeah, I can't imagine that this could have possibly influenced Lucas, but it does feel very much in that mold.
Go later after this, and this is something that was shared to me yesterday with Jay. It was Google Akira Kurosawa's Star Wars, and it's so fucking obvious. Like, and it's like an AI generated version of the story, like all these AI images and stuff, and it's anyway, it's hilarious. It's actually the movie. It's the movie you wish you saw, actually, because like it makes all that samurai shit just like totally come to life. It's very true. Yeah. One thing that watching all these samurai movies, like I do very much see all the influences on Star Wars, but they're mostly through Kurosawa, and they're mostly through like camera angles and maybe like transitions and like plot lines, and then the basic concept of the Jedi with the sword and whatnot, and the transitions between scenes. You know, like it's more subtle influences, and the rest is all Buck Rogers. It's a very, it's just like, what if we threw Buck Rogers with the samurai? We got and Nixon
And Dune.
And Dune. You think there's some Dune in there? I guess there could be.
So hard. Like there's like,
oh, no kidding, huh?
Herbert himself found like 60 plus influences, like direct. And yeah, read it. It's absolutely true.
Oh wow, okay. I don't dispute it. I think fucking Lucas is a super hack who produces boring fucking movies that suck. But you know, he knows what's cool. He himself is not cool, but he knows what's cool.
Yeah, well
I
said.
like that take. Good take.
Yeah.
Did you? I really like. I really liked that he would come home every night from an assassination and just get fucking drunk on sake.
Absolutely.
And sit on the floor in his private room adjoining his baby and sort of like accidental wife that he borrowed from a dude that he killed. And then and she just fucking just reams into him every night. She's miserable, and he's an awful piece of shit. And then I like how she like sarcastically cheers him on. Yeah, go do it. Kill everybody. That's your favorite thing. That's what you do. It's just this nightmare scenario, and he just sits there and gets drunk and just like he bathes in his own misery like every night.
Yeah.
And then and it's fucking awesome. I don't know.
That's such a great way of putting it. You're right. Yeah. You know, it's like, and it I have a very low tolerance for behavior that I do not like. Like that's a thing about me. I'll like it. I'll grunt and I'll turn off a show, and I hate cringe comedy for that reason. Cannot fucking abide. I'll watch this guy, like, as you say, bathe in his own misery all fucking day. I fucking love it. It's hilarious. And, like, it's not even hilarious. You're just like, it's so, I guess, getting back to what you were saying, Chris, about like Dostoevsky or like Christian existentialism. You know, like it's all like the darkness is like it's almost like a goth sensibility. It's like,
it's true.
You're just like, this is part of it. This is part of the joy of this.
One thing I wrote early in that, like the year 2 or like the 2 years later, is I was like, oh no, like Hannah's become a nagging wife. But then I was like, you know what? She's totally fair. She's like, you get grimmer and bloodier every time that recruiter visits and like sends you on a mission. Like, you know what? That's probably a pretty fair complaint.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, getting back to the this is a dark path she's on. And it's not even like, and she gets dragged along essentially by the because like he does, and getting back to like whether or not he was gonna kill her husband. So she shows up and she's just like, would you, like she pretends it's talking about her brother or whatever, but it's her husband, and there's like a very awkward exchange between the two of them. But she basically says like, I'll fuck you if you don't kill my husband, right? Because everything counts on this. Like, you won't take money, you won't take anything else. You won't, like, it's all, you don't care about honor, so maybe you want to fuck me. But she doesn't really want to, for obvious reasons, because it's coercion, but it does occur.
Yeah.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was
gonna. I'll go.
Yeah.
The point was that she's sociological dragged around because like that act of not only the loss of her husband, the fact that like he's gonna divorce her, she becomes completely atomized from society as a consequence of his violence. And so she's kind of globs onto him like a satellite almost. Like there's no love. Like, who knows why the fuck he does this? It's not even discussed. She's just like, come with me to Ito, or let me run away. And then he's like, I don't care about you. And he murders all those men. And then we see them later. Sorry. Yeah. Chris, what were you going to say?
Yeah. Even when I'm going to jump around a bit, but
sure.
When they're a couple later, and he says that he's going to kill her former husband's brother. And she's like, I wouldn't like that to happen. He's like, why? You care about him? And what she has to say about that is, I have no one to depend on but you. So no, I don't care what you do. But she says, you mean more to me than anyone else. That's such a bleak thing to say. Like, there's no love there. It's just like, you're the one person I can sort of depend on because we have a child together. Yeah. But going back to that, the beginning, like when she, whatever, the exchange, there's that beauty moment in the mill where it like cuts away. So first of all, he takes out his sword. Actually, let's go one step further.
Sure.
He says that he trusts only his sword in the world. When he fights, he has no family. And ironically, that sort of like severing from allegiance or family or the society ties him to Hama ultimately, because she then throws in her lot with him. But when he does bring her to that mill, he just kind of takes out his sword and points it at her, and then points to a bale of hay, and it's like a martial act in and of itself. And then it has that beauty cut where it just like cuts to that like log pounding into the hole in the ground, like
that was a nice touch. Yeah, I did.
That the whole thing is like that drum beat of the mill. Like it's the soundtrack of this movie is fucking excellent by Sato. But Okamoto knows how to make use of the environment to tension, like it's the still beating heart, he manages to make it, what's the word, diegetic rather than extra diegetic, in a lot of ways. That's fucking great. That whole thing, very cool. The point though about like why I think he was going to abide by that agreement, that exchange, they call it duel at first. He stands down, he does his empty style thing, which is very, very awesome when he powers down like a robot and just waits for someone to come in to death. And they call the duel, and in that moment he exhales like out of a moment of stress, the only stress we see from him. And then that dude attacks him and he fucking kills him, like almost on autopilot. Or the husband, sorry, because the husband's learned there's been a sexual exchange. That's the evidence. That's the evidence that he was going to abide by that, and he could have got through it, but for the fact that, I guess, like, how did the husband learn? Did he tell the husband?
I think he said, like they were seen together by the mill, and he just kind of pieced it together.
Yeah, okay.
Doing down there with,
it might have been his little gopher buddy. I can't remember now.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Because this movie's so like unnerving at times, I was like, did he just send this woman there to be a plaything for his weird servant guy? Because like That guy really gave me the creeps.
I worried about that too initially.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
I don't see why you have to.
He was like,
go see me in a dirty place like this.
Yeah, he's like, go sacrifice your chastity to old Billy the Mill guy.
That's the deal.
I didn't think it was beyond him, and that's funny that you say that.
I didn't think it was beyond him. And like, I just like shows up as like Komodo is hanging open, like you just kind of see his like fat hairless belly, you know. It's like it's not a good look.
He's like, come on in, I don't have any tea. Fuck.
But I don't know what that changes about anything. Sorry, going back in time. I don't know what that the fact that he exhales in that moment and that he shows like what does that mean? Is there like a chance for redemption for him, but it all falls apart?
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, I guess we would have found out what the deal was with his school, but like he's the Kogan style, like he's like a master of that, and we know that he's a disgraced student somehow, but we don't know why. And
he's a disgraced son. His sensei is his father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little, it's even deeper than the fact that he's a bad student. He's a bad kid, you know, and like from a master, right?
Even I think his dad calls him out at the beginning. He's like, "Where were you?" And he knows. It's like he knows he went and killed somebody.
Yeah. And he's like, "I hope you fucking die."
Just went for a walk in the woods. No worries. Cut down an old fucking guy.
I was the angel of death in some sort of dramatic moment for this man, and moved on. Killed him at a Buddhist shrine. Like, that's fucked. Just left him there. And then he took a swipe at the ninja dude. Like, admittedly, the guy who becomes the uncle or whatever, he's essentially a ninja. And, you know, Renosuke knows, like, this guy's no good. I've never seen him before. He's up to no good, and this is an excuse to murder him. And he fucking swings his sword at him. But the ninja's too nimble and escapes. No problem, right? But that's such an awkward original exchange. He'll kill at a dime, right on a flash, you know, for no reason. Well, there was a reason there, but I still didn't expect Uncle to be a ninja though. Like later on in the movie when he like caresses those people's feet and like sneaks into the room. What the fuck? That's awesome.
That was so perverse and weird. And then he's like, I'll strip you and force you through town, which he does, I believe. Like, but it's like there's a whole like bondage element layered on top.
So this is the time in we're getting like it's 66. I would say like the heyday for the samurai movies is, so far as I've ascertained or whatever, is up until the 70s. And what happens at that point, samurai movies continue, but they become like TV movies. They become a little less big Hollywood-y production-esque. And this is part, as I currently understand of it, part of an economic downturn in Japan, and maybe also a downturn in this particular genre. And so what happens generally in Japanese cinema, it becomes more and more kind of sexual, like they're trying to make it a little sexy to like bring people to the audience, and it's getting a little low rent, but they're still making, they're just like softcore becomes more of a thing. And some directors excel at that shit. Gosha really goes into it, like drives into it and does an excellent fucking job of it. But you can see kind of some of that in Okamoto here. Like this is some of the stuff you'll see in earlier movies is a little less, I don't know, like even though like some less attractive, less sexual, but I think there's some influence from Gosha on this. He knows he wants to make it like it's mid 60s, so time to sex it up a little. Let's get modern. And you see some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I as you're saying that, it makes me think that maybe there's almost a meta element to this, like setting this in this toppling age of the samurai. Like it's like as the historical period or the representation of it is that samurai class is in decline. So maybe it's the same with the film industry, or there's a shadow of that over it.
That's interesting. Well, he wouldn't have known what's coming, but like I think that theme of like the samurai. So, okay, so one, this is very common for Okamoto to set his films, his samurai films, in 1860. He's interested in this transition to modernity, and where the samurai fits into that, and the question of honor. And go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, speaking of it's very jarring, that moment where the guy points to his pistol or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, I carry one of these around," and you're like, "Oh shit, there's like guns."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's gun. Yeah, and like some of the samurai movies will well, this movie later on. Actually, no, I won't talk about not this movie later on, but the trilogy. I think there's gunplay later on, but I don't know. Anyway, a lot of samurai movies will later. Actually, there's Sanjiro, if I'm remembering it, that maybe it's it's not Sanjiro. It is Yojimbo. Nakadai plays like sort of this effeminate samurai Ronin. Sorry, this effeminate, like very effeminate Ronin, who carries a pistol. So he's kind of a sissy. They'll have gunplay in samurai movies is a thing that shows up, or like the concept of guns, because they existed 16th century onwards in Japan, but not really, just from Western influence. But it anytime a gun shows up, it's definitely like symbolizes Western influence. And so yeah, this movie, even though it's not about modernity, but like I don't, and that's the thing, I don't know why it's placed in 1860.
Yeah,
like maybe the trilogy would have bared that out, but this movie, it doesn't matter. Like, it's only symbolic. It has nothing to do with the plot.
I'm thinking too about
but yeah.
There's that lord, like sort of a subplot of this like lord who, well, there's so much like after the kind of fall of like samurai class, there's a lot of factions either propping up the shogun or trying to bring about his downfall, and I guess trying to garner political favor with anyone who might be able to help them. So Ryanosuke falls in as basically a sword for hire for these like this faction that's trying to prop up the shogun, and they're approaching this lord trying to get his support. And there's sort of this I really think it is coded as this effeminate thing, like where when they go to see him, he's like sort of like leaning on his side and not really taking it seriously, and it's like, oh, whatever happens, but he just wants to, well, he wants to brutalize women or sort of like torture them with weird games. Like, that's where what's her name, the young courtesan,
Uematsu.
Yeah, they send her to him. They send her to him, and even the uncle's like, oh, like he has a reputation as a women hater, like I hope she's gonna be okay. But they're hoping that she can kind of like catch his eye.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm going over to that right now. Yeah, I like, this movie's so violent that I wasn't even thinking about that. But like, she just ends up in this situation where like, dude pulls a sword on her and like wants to like cuts the sash on her dress. Like, it's a very like sexual violence moment of the samurai, and like he's really like he's missing some teeth. He's kind of scrawny, it's all coded in there. It's like he's the decrepit, decadent samurai,
Yeah. And then even as the men are walking away, they're like, oh, like he talks to us like a man, but he can't even make an advance on a woman.
Oh, sing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's all there.
Yeah.
And he closes her in for the old, it's just like it. So James, one of the main reasons I wanted us to watch this movie is just like Frank Miller does not fucking exist without this movie.
Oh, you're feeling like this is pretty hard boiled.
Yeah, man, this is hard as fuck. I feel, and just like the use of shadows, and even the look at that yellow bastard, and then look at this samurai guy who's about to take it to Uematsu. It's like it's very similar. It's like, and then that fight in the snow, that's so Frank Miller. Like it's on and on and on. Like, and like this movie is, plus Lone Wolf and Cub, is like, I don't know, like this is the fucking text. I feel that it is to unlocking like all of Frank Miller's style later on. It's all contained in this. Like whatever, I'm exaggerating, but this is one of his biggest influences. Like easily.
You're right.
Easily.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think that. I don't know why I didn't think that direction. But
Yeah.
I'm still kind of reeling from this movie too. Chris, you were talking about something earlier, and I was thinking of that plot synopsis of the second movie that we were reading, James, and that there was I can't remember now. There's just a different scenario I was thinking of.
Well, later on he's gonna get blinded. Like after he goes crazy. Sorry, no, I did just skim it, but he ends up getting blinded, and he ends up in like some sort of doppelganger situation with Ohama's like twin, but not actually her twin, like just someone who really looks like the woman that he abandoned and murdered and abandoned. No, I guess.
That was a great scene too when he murdered her, because you could see the smile again, Chris. He was like, mad woman, but then he was excited about the fact that she gave him a reason, Yeah. He had no choice really at that point, and that excited him, because he's like, I can kill now, and there's no reason.
That's what I've wanted to do this whole fucking time,
It's true. And then I think the other thing too was that there was that little. I think he talks about it in the synopsis for the second or the third movie. Mm-hmm. He's with another woman. And he tells her, like, if you're gonna stay with me, you'll become evil.
Interesting.
And I just thought, oh, that's so good, because that's what happened to her. She was just twisted by his presence.
Yeah. Like she obviously she was driven to desperation in an effort to like maintain everything, and to stop her husband from being fucking murdered. It's so weird to think that like. Not weird, but like everybody knew what this guy was, and like there's no question of it. It was just like she, she's trying to stop it. She can't stop it. She gets swept up in it through the rules of society, and like it's gonna twist her. It's like I don't even think it really twisted her though. Like she didn't become evil. So I think Renosuke is wrong in that instance. What he ought to have said is just like, you will be another fucking detritus in the fucking icebreaker of my life, like it's just gonna be another broken fucking fragment floating along the boat beside me, and I am the boat, so I don't think that's the fair assessment. Maybe sociologically it becomes true, but I don't know, morally by any standard I have, it doesn't become true.
That's fair. I think that was also like him like goading her as well. But
I'm probably trying to warn her, like, I'm bad news, man. I got the popo on.
Yeah. You know what this reminded me a little bit of too was No Longer Human. Like it was like a samurai version of that.
Yes,
that totally fits.
Yeah, no, and the fact that there was doppelgangers and stuff, and I was like, oh boy, this is a tradition. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm excited as fuck to finish this trilogy, and like I went looking to see whether that the original story is translated, and I didn't have any success.
But did you acquire these?
What do you mean?
Versions of it?
They're on the way. They're going to be arriving in a fortnight.
Wow, that's not easy, because I goofed around a little,
Oh, to anyone listening, you can get all this shit from Samurai DVD. Like any of this fucking shit, any samurai movies, it's all US prices, so it's a little inflated, but sorry, I'm giving a product review right now, but they were very responsive to my emails. They're very serious.
They're serious as fuck.
Yeah, they're sending the stuff over, and like there's a guy on YouTube called Bushido Blues who does like reviews of the samurai movies, and he has sort of like an agreement with them, so there's a code and you can get a discount and stuff like that. And he vouches for them. And I was like, you know what, on the strength of that dude's recommendation, I'm in, because he's totally into all the samurai movies. And I don't know, the stuff's going to arrive. I've read it, says it's pretty good. It's essentially bootlegs though. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
This is some, and this is one of those moments you miss. 2001 in Chinatown.
Chinatown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's
cleaned
samurai
house.
movies, but yeah, you'd fucking get whatever you wanted back in the day.
The bootleg copies of anything.
Yeah. They didn't.
Yeah.
Well, they bootlegged a lot of Japanese movies as well, though.
Yeah.
In those little stores.
Yeah, but so one thing that like I don't know who's fucking producing all this stuff, but it comes with like apparently, and I guess I'll find out like really good or acceptable, if not good, subtitles. Because that just doesn't
That's
come out of
actually
nowhere.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like formatted and cleaned up and stuff like that. Like there's some fucking angel out there is doing all this stuff.
This is the equivalent of a suitcase man on the corner of Yonge.
Yeah, there's a suitcase man out there. I don't know. I think it's more than that. I think there's an organized suitcase association, and they have a distributor of some sort. I don't know. Anyway.
I'd like images of these. I'd like to see.
Yeah, when they arrive. Yeah. Well, I'll show you.
I want to see I bet you they have the nice print right on the disc and everything. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I hope so. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, if it shows up without the print on the disc, am I gonna feel ripped off?
No, you
not.
won't. You won't. I got my copy of what's that Miike movie that's really nasty?
Wait, you have to be more specific.
Itchy the Killer. Itchy the
Okay.
Killer. Yeah, my Itchy the Killer's bootleg is all hell.
Oh, really? I gotta,
it's a
show
beauty
some pictures
copy.
of that later.
Okay.
Okay, so which one of us felt bad for Hayoma? Like the brother of the dude that get murdered, and his sucks. And basically Mifune's like, you're not ready. You have one opportunity. I've put that moment when he was like, now is the time. He's not confident with his sword, and the dude's like, why? And he's like, I can't touch him.
That was awesome.
Because I fucking showed him the big dick, so now's the time.
It's so, what the real shocker is, like, this kid's got a grudge against our guy Renosuke for killing his brother, but you find out, and he finds out that it's Renosuke's father who sent him on this quest. Just being like, this kid's he's a rabid dog. You got to put him down.
Yeah, the fucking intertwining of familial destiny and all of this. Like, it almost like it's not tragic, but it kind of is it's symbolic.
Yes.
And it could have been tragic. Like, again, I'm so excited about the trilogy. I want to know what the fuck would have happened to this dude.
Yeah. Does blind Renosuke just kill him later? Or did they just drop the kid? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, you're right about the like twining, because like Amatsu too, it's like it does feel like a classic. Like, she's such a pure, innocent soul, and like traveling with her grandfather to this Buddhist shrine, and his one wish is that she'll be able to settle down and not have to travel with him anymore, right? And then the whole like morality play thing is that her chastity's in peril. She's like, I think I'm going to become a courtesan. And her uncle's like, yeah, don't do that. Well, maybe do that. Whatever you want to do. And she doesn't really go through with it within this movie. Mm-hmm. The leader of that like sort of samurai faction is like, yeah, I'll make you a woman. And it leads her. Offer. Yeah. It leads her into that like dojo or whatever, the place where Renosuke ends up encountering her and having his little breakdown, but nothing happens to consummate it, even though like he's basically about to like lure her over.
Yeah. And she's I'm watching the scene right now in this room, like supposedly haunted room, and like it's all shadows and crossplay and stuff, but she agrees to sort of spy and identify this dude and like set him up, I think is what's going on to make the confrontation between Hoyoma and Renosuke. But I guess Renosuke gets other ideas by having a fucking complete mental breakdown.
I think he just when it's the realization that he killed her grandfather, and it was this weird like full circle for him. And then she started fucking talking about ghosts. That was it. He held it together for a little while, but then he lost it. You start hearing the screams every time he swipes.
Well, she starts freaking out. I saw something. I'm sure I saw her, and there she's fucking terrified. And he's like, I get a sense of that too. Like I felt it too, but like I don't see it like you. I'm like, there's some like in it. The fun part of this is like what is that? Is that the souls of all this fucking misery that he's created? It becomes supernatural. And that's another thing. Like, this could have been so nothing, but it's like he just takes on this spectral quality by himself. But at the same time is also like fighting against the specters. Like it's for such a shallow character, it feels so deep. It feels bigger than it is, but I think like that shallowness, this is going to be so martial arts, that shallowness is the depth, but I think it is,
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
It just allows it to be mythical. Yeah, I suppose if we're gonna try to put like a different language on it, like it because if he had more depth, then it would suddenly become like the difference between Spider-Man and Superman. Spider-Man's got all these problems. He's just real. Superman's pure. That's the idea. It does have it. It could have been less elevated in a movie like this, which wants to wallow in misery and violence. Like there has to be some sort of well, I don't know. There doesn't have to be, but like Okamoto is aiming for some sort of like larger relevance.
Yeah, it satisfies that allegorical quality that it seems to gesture at.
There you go. Yeah, that's a sentence. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Did you the end? And do you think it's do either of you feel like that's a good ending, or do you just feel like this sequels were planned and never fulfilled and it's a bad ending?
Sequels were planned. I think it works as an ending, even though it doesn't get. And a lot of people have written. James, you probably saw this too. Like a lot of
negative,
yeah. But well, no, a lot of people have
There's some positive reviews, like positive spins on it.
Yeah, that like it is appropriate that like this is it's a Sopranos ending is what I was thinking. Like that sort of like sense that no, this is what your life is going to be forever. Like you're going to be slashing at assailants, and like it is sort of a fitting end for you to be in this labyrinth of like, just like rage and just being on your heels and constantly fighting and almost disoriented.
Yeah, I think like it like accidentally works, but also not accidentally. Like Okamoto didn't do this on purpose. Like he was like, every movie here's I don't know this dude, but this movie has a unity to it to the extent that you can, right? It's like any episode of television, and Okamoto is not going to become a stranger to television. You have your episodes, and there's an ongoing plot line, but there has to be some unity into the beginning and the end. And he does that, and so it's satisfying, but you're also like you're left wanting a lot more. And so like I don't know, I think the answer is both. Like, is it a good ending? Yeah, but is it clearly a trilogy? Yes. Like there's all these dangling plot lines that just aren't addressed. Yeah.
I wonder if he would have changed it if he knew he was only going to do the one movie. Like, would he have just killed him? Would that have been any more satisfying? I think that would have been worse.
Would have been more morally satisfying.
I think you're right. Yeah. No, you said worse, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be very satisfying.
Not at all.
I feel like that's the only direction you could go if you knew this was it. So
I think like, okay, so the samurai, what makes me especially think that this, here's my best pitch for why this is a good ending. Like, step one, it's fucking awesome. Like all this fucking cool, just murdering people and just like, and he's frozen in this moment. not only fighting against his own internal demons, but all these other humans that want to kill him because he's a wild dog at this point. There's like, but so we'll do two things. We'll say the samurai is always represented like Japan's, this is by choice. The code of Bushido, like they aligned, like on a nationalistic level, they aligned themselves with the samurai and Bushido and all that, the honor and the seppuku and all that fucking shit. And caste, like hierarchies within society. So this is a national symbol who's having a fucking violent breakdown. From the same director who was also critical of World War II. Like this is, what's fitting about this is that about this ending is it reflects like some sort of like deeper dark. If the samurai is Japan, here's what Japan actually looks like. Is what you're left with, and like whether it's true or not, that's like that's a transgressive statement. That is or metaphor, allegory, all that stuff that you can just kind of sit with, and you're just like, as a Japanese individual, you're kind of left with that moment of wondering what the fuck, and without being told, without any questions about like actual politics. There's no politics in this movie. There's no like when a Canadian is forced with this question, like it's about colonialism and it's about genocide and stuff like that. And that too is the case with Japan, but with any fucking nation, FYI, this movie wants to point to the darker aspects of a national myth without naming explicitly what those things are. And it just leaves you hanging with there. And like, if this is the Japanese national myth and it's left like just screaming and insane, ripping into the air into eternity, just murdering, is that a good national myth? What do you do with that?
That feels true.
Yeah. So that's my best pitch on how one could say that this is a good ending, but it's not a good ending. It's actually not a good ending. I remember laughing. I fucking laughed when this movie came to an end, and I looked at Jay and I was like, what the fuck? Because I had no idea about the trilogy or whatever. Like you're really left disoriented and wondering like, what the fuck did you just see? And it feels more like an encounter as a consequence, but it also like it's very unsatisfying. And I didn't actually think very well of this movie until I rewatched it or thought about it. And then I was like, holy fuck, this is the best one. But I was so shocked by that ending that it kind of ruined my experience.
Well, there's another.
Yeah, I think I was softened. Oh, sorry. I think I was softened to the ending. Just because I hadn't.
Well, I flagged it immediately. I was like,
yeah, you're like, this was, so I knew that there was supposed to be other movies, so I think that helped me enjoy the ending.
It had to have, because that's what helped me enjoy the ending. I was like, okay, I get it now. All right, I have to rethink all of this. Yeah, but on like fucking virginal viewing, not great.
Sorry, Chris.
No, that's fine. Actually, I was gonna gesture in that direction. Apparently, and this is according to the Criterion essay on their website, the audience would have been well familiar with the sort of content, so they would have not been phased at all by that end. Like they would just understand that it was an early episode in this like ongoing serial series, and they've just been like, oh, I can't wait till the next part. But for a Western audience, it really is. It would have been very jarring, I'm sure, disorienting.
And getting back to the Star Wars thing, see, this is a trilogy, but the other trilogy that really is, I don't know. I couldn't say the only trilogy because there's lots, right? But like, I guess the previous trilogies about this probably haunt this movie in a way I don't know yet. But the other kind of big trilogies kind of cycle that I'm aware of anyway is like with Mifune as Miyamoto Musashi, and he's very pure in that movie, and I really saw him in that mode as the sensei or whatever, like the guy that murders all those people in the snow. Because that Musashi film is very national myth building, the samurai as pure spirit, from the earth, like becomes a farmer and all the murders for the good. The what's the point in all that? The trilogy thing. I do think that some of the fact that Lucas chose a trilogy is based off those movies and this cycle. This cycle, the Renosuke cycle, the Satan Sword trilogy, whatever the fuck they called it. I think that was another element that is
You're saying that
unmistakable.
Vader comes to Star Wars by way of those earlier trilogies that would have been more accessible.
Well, I just think the structure of a trilogy is what I'm saying. Like the fact that you have a trilogy, like I don't think that happens in Hollywood. I think it definitely happens a lot in Japanese cinema and specifically samurai stories. And this is a good example of that.
I can't really think of any trilogies prior to Star Wars.
I guess Godfather.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I don't know. The timelines.
It sort of started at a comparable time.
Did it? Yeah. Shit. I know.
The Godfather 3 is 1990.
Yeah, but when's 1? God damn it. 72.
72?
That's when the book comes out. Pardon me. So the movie. Oh god damn it, Wikipedia really. Yeah, 72 is Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah, 72 American epic crime film. So I know the original thing wasn't like, I don't know if it wasn't planned as a trilogy, but like I don't know, was Lucas's thing planned as a trilogy? Is that bullshit too?
No, I think it was.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to get swept up in this shit, but like the acceptability of the trilogy as a concept, if it's not from The Godfather, because the Godfather's trilogy didn't have to exist. These cycles of films, maybe that's primary.
Hilariously, guys,
George A. Romero
trilogy.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
Fistful of Dollars trilogy, like 60s.
Oh, but
which probably an influence on Japanese.
And no, Fistful of Dollars comes from Yojimbo. You're
right.
It's the same fucking story. And all, So
I was going to Trilogy of the Dead. For Romero did a trilogy.
When's that though? That's much
later. It's the 60s. 68.
Oh my goodness, that's interesting. Well, you know what? I'll put that in the mix, right?
Yeah, but definitely not common.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just given so maybe that's an outlier. I'm gonna say Romero's an outlier for my theory, and Lucas is not looking to that example. He's looking to popular trilogies in Japanese samurai movies because his movie's clearly samurai inflected, right? So that's the obvious connection. Yeah, I don't know though. I've never really turned my mind to the concept of the trilogy, so I could be completely fucking off base.
Let us know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I will.
Well, so. I mean, our audience.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, you guys know popular trilogies out there? Are we fucking dumb? Let us know. No one ever tells us that we're dumb. You should, guys.
They
do
should.
That.
Yeah. Like clearly we need it every once in a while.
Yeah. Except like, I'm sorry, someone called us out about like how like Gambit is like an acceptable. I'm just like, no.
Wait, what?
Someone was like, just like on a treatment of Gambit. Like
really?
And I'm like, not called us. Yeah, like I don't know if they called us out, but they were just like, what's the difference between him and Wolverine? And I was like, lots of things. Well, one, samurai. Yeah. That's actually a good comparison. Yeah, like Wolverine becomes like a sort of like Mifune character. Nogami
fucking
Ito.
Colossus has more character depth than fucking Gambit.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Gambit
it's true.
Is very French, and that is a personality trait. You guys are so low on Gambit. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, because you haven't been stuck with Gambit for fucking decades and wondering what the fuck you're doing with your time.
Best Gambit character development was, again, and I always go to the well, the X-Men 97 cartoon was the fucking Bayou spy life or whatever. Closest thing to any kind of fucking origin or acceptable character development I ever saw, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
At best.
So yeah, the Sword of Doom is a fantastic film. Highly recommend. You too can puzzle about the like the spiritual, I don't know, the Bodhisattva path or whatever this title actually is translated to. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a favorite now.
Oh yeah.
Now all we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.